Hi everyone, alongside Mike Trossel, I'm Dave Giancola. Welcome back in for another US Open Classic finish. We're going to go back in time to 1999. The venue is Pinehurst, hosting our national championship for the first time. Payne Stewart, who had already won a US Open in 1991, was coming off a heartbreaking defeat at the Olympic Club the year prior, but playing good golf and back in the lead through 54 holes.
Yeah, Dave Stewart had played great through 3 rounds, but it's a bunch leaderboard with Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson right on his heels. Now, Sunday's weather was cool and misty, prompting Stewart to wear a self-made rain vest that he actually made by cutting off the sleeves with a pair of scissors on the driving range that morning. Also had in his trademark +4s, all setting the stage for one of the great finishes in US Open history.
Well, we'll pick it up where the action heats up with Stewart and Mickelson paired together in the final group. We'll go to the par 5 10th hole with Stewart leading by 1.
It's going down the right side of the fairway.
Nothing wrong with that. This par 5 measuring 610 yards. Let's go to 11. Vijay Singh's third shot. John?
Well, let's see how he does today. He had a lot of problems yesterday, the last 3 holes out of bunkers. Couldn't get any of them up and down at 16 or 17.
How about that? He almost got that up and down, literally. Great sand play by Singh. That'll save his par, stay even.
Tee shot going down the left center.
Yeah, that's 8 fairways out of 8 tries today. Very impressive, Roger.
Offers some relief, and we move on.
You know, most U.S. Opens, you're seeing guys struggle and really succumbing to pressure. We are not seeing much of that today. We're seeing guys, top players at the top of their game on a super tough course.
Birdie chance for Tiger. Get back to even.
He's got about 22 feet here, not much break to it. Did see Tim Herron's putt turn a little bit left at the hole. His was on a slightly different line.
I don't have a lot of break in my charts here. He could make this. That'll get him going.
Oh, that appeared to be halfway down.
That ball was down inside the hole and came out. If we show that again, just to show you how close that came. Wow, that was a great putt.
He continues to play par golf today. That was his goal at the start.
Let's take a look at this. It decides. Oh, man.
Disappointed Tiger Woods, paired with Tim Herron today in the final round, remains 3 behind Payne Stewart. They're on the back 9 of Pinehurst number 2, and they're fighting for the US Open title. Back in the beautiful sandhill country of North Carolina at Pinehurst number 2, the 1999 US Open Championship. Payne Stewart leads Phil Mickelson by 1. Singh is 2 back. Tiger Woods trails by 3. They're on the back side of this incredible golf course. And at the tee, par 4 11th, is Tiger Woods. Slight dogleg right. This was Ben Hogan's, one of his favorite par 4s. He holed out here in 1940 for birdie on his way to winning his first pro title.
And you can see the perfect shot is really Tiger's shot. It's a power cut. Aim about right down the left side. And then just nail it.
Well, you talk about nailing it, Johnny. Wait till you see where this one ends up.
Oh, absolutely no roll whatsoever. But great shot, gives himself a chance for birdie.
Let's go to 18. And our boxing friend Esteban Toledo, 36 years old, trying to survive to the final bell. And In his first U.S. Open, he finishes with a 78, but he survived. No TKO. And obviously enjoyed the experience. Plus 16 for the championship.
A very strange club selection, considering he's so far from the hole. Hits down on it, takes a divot, which is hard to do, hitting a driver off the fairway. And he stripes it, but see if it hangs in there. I'm not sure what he gained by doing that, and it's gone right up against that collar and then bounced off. So could be a tough little lie.
Reminder, our coverage of the WNBA returns to NBC next Saturday. The Phoenix Mercury and the Detroit Shock. The WNBA on NBC next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern. Advance now to the par 3 15th.
This a moment ago, Hal Sutton's second shot from just short of the green, electing to take the putter. Yeah, how about that? Something good for Hal Sutton. Moves him to 6 over par and just 1 over par in his final round.
Well, this property, nearly 6,000 acres, bought by James Tufts, a Boston businessman, made all his money in soda fountains there in Massachusetts. It worked out to about $1.25 an acre. There's nothing here. They called it the Sahara of North Carolina. And most of the trees were gone. They'd used them for lumber.
Yeah, the course just decided that maybe they need a golf course here, and there really weren't many trees. They'd already harvested the trees off the area, but in 1901 they stuck in 9 holes, and it was such a hit, a few years later they added 9 more.
They just built it as a tourist area for the folks up in the Northeast to come down and get some fresh air, and he found all of the visitors out in the cow pasture hitting this golf ball. He said, maybe we got something here. And now there's 8 18-hole courses here. This is the famed number 2. Roger?
Well, Payne Stewart's left himself 107 yards to the hole. On a little bit of an upslope of a knob on the right-hand side of the fairway. Hole cut back left. Pretty good angle at it. This is sand iron. Player's got a guard from going left here, John.
Ball above his feet a little bit?
Ball above his feet slightly. Tendency would be to go left a little bit.
He hit it left at 4 on the other 5 par, remember, in the bunker? Same shot.
Just needs to get up.
That might go off the green. That was a very poor golf shot right there. And that might go in a bad lie. That's got a great chance to be, that's not too bad maybe, sitting up. But it's teed up, no grass behind it.
This large gallery following the final groups, they're just building in their enthusiasm as they're ready to really roar for the champion today.
I'll tell you, if he makes 6 here, though, it could be the start of something not good.
To 11, the second shot of Tiger Woods. Mark?
Well, this is one of Johnny's green light specials for Tiger. He's got 156, just a little bit of wind at his back. Probably just a nice 9-iron.
Right at the USGA sign, and you got business, Tiger, dialing the right distance. There you go. There you go.
Chance to get to even. Now Phil Mickelson at 10, his third shot at this long par 5.
Lie's okay, Roger?
The lie's a little thin, John, and a little bit of a cuppy lie. It's got 45 yards to the hole.
Well, he's going to probably play that little D-loft hooded lob wedge, low spinner.
He's got a great angle.
Look at that divot. Did he get it all?
No, he didn't. He got that fat that's going to swing off left.
See, how about those 2 shots, Roger? 2 guys in perfect position, and both of them really make unforced errors. I guess that's the best way to put it, isn't it?
Yes, the shot of Phil's, I would think, certainly from that angle, was surprising, very surprising he would go over there. Had to keep that ball right of the hole.
I mean, if you would have bet that both those guys would be missing the green from where they were, you got pretty good odds. So how how about this lie in position that Payne's in? Is this a problem, or is it not that big a deal?
Well, it's a problem, all right, because he's going to have a very awkward stance. The ball's well above his feet. He doesn't have much of an angle.
Oh, man. And then that lie is really a strange one. It's different from this camera angle. He's got all that grass on the heel of the club, which is the hardest lie I think there is. And then, of course, no grass on the toe of the club. So when it comes in, you want to grab that heel and stick and turn the club over. So this could be, and with standing that far below, it makes you even grab the heel more because it makes the club flatter. So the odds of him hitting this solidly are not real good, Roger.
Absolutely. He could miss this green left if he doesn't watch out.
And heavy. You want to get as close to it as you can.
He didn't get all of it, John.
Yeah, that heel was really going to grab there. You'd almost have to try to hit that 10, 12 feet by the hole. If you had to hit 100 of those and had the wisdom to play that shot 100 times, you'd realize that you're probably going to hit about 10 feet fat every time. Watch this. Good technique. Just that heel. Look at that grass fly out of the heel. And watch it again. Watch the heel of the club grab. And all that grass, both forward and back, explode and take off club head speed. So it's sort of a bad break, but then again, he hit it there. How about this? You got enough green to play with?
Well, for a lot of people, I'd say no. For Phil Mickelson, I'd say, yeah, probably. But he doesn't have a lot of green, maybe 15 feet of green to work with.
The sand has compacted a little more than earlier in the week with the rains, right?
It has, yeah, and the ball is spinning much more out of the bunkers now than it did earlier.
He's trying to visualize this. This is huge. He knows he can pick up a stroke here. Got a good chance anyway. And this thing will be all square as far as the two of them.
Meanwhile, at the par 4 12th, a man moving ever closer, Vijay Singh.
Just 2 off the pay stick, but he's got a shot here from 196 yards. And in that rough, you can see how hard he swung at it. And that is going to come up short in the bunker.
Oh, that's a very difficult spot.
And back to 11.
Well, there are no par 5s left on the course for Tiger, only a couple of holes that you would really call birdie holes. So, Johnny, I think this is a very important putt for him.
He's got a chance to make a 2-shot swing on Singh, Mickelson, and Stewart. Just played a ton of break there. I'm not sure why he thought that was going to break 12, 14 inches.
6 straight pars. Now Stewart for his par putt.
Not a lot of great break, really. Now, Roger.
Well, John, that a costly mistake. That's, I guess, a little miss. Clever maybe hit it just a little fat, but to miss the green here with the sand iron, bad mistake.
I tell you, when you're leading and you do make that mistake, I tell you, the back of your hair and your neck sort of stands up, and you get like a little rush, like all of a sudden, whoa.
Tiger Woods, that was his par putt. So he goes from a makeable birdie to bogey, and now is at +2 for the championship. Ouch. He falls 4 behind Stewart at the moment, but Stewart has a tough test for his par.
He's got to regroup. Next hole is going to be key, whether he sort of blows himself out with that bogey there and follow up with more bogeys.
And Phil Mickelson, this is for his par. Stewart already has a bogey putt waiting. He tapped in for his bogey, so
right.
He's at -1.
Roger was just a inside right putt or something.
That's what I think, John. You can't give the hole up.
Like you said, though, how many times can you dip to the well and expect to get water? And he has really been incredible Of course, we talked about it. 12 putts through 9 holes.
This one to tie for the lead.
It's a beautiful putting stroke. Little forward press. Takes it back just a little hooded. De-loss it and hangs on. That's a good move. There's noise out on the course, Roger, and maybe he didn't like the feel over the ball.
Always wise to start the routine over if you're interrupted by anything, John.
This is so huge. It's unbelievable. And people go nuts if he makes this.
After 10 holes of this final round, we have a tie for the lead. Payne Stewart succumbing at 10 with a bogey, and Mickelson with his par. They're at 1 under. Meanwhile,
so this is a big shot for VJ. He did not go in that bunker. Has a good lie. Trying to get it up and down here now. And he can be just 1 shot back.
He's got little sideboards on the right there.
Oh, this is a beautifully played shot, Johnny.
Look at this.
What a shot by Singh.
That is clutch. That's 2 in a row from off the green, almost in the hole.
He's got the best round going of anyone on the golf course today. 2 under and bogey free.
Let's take a look at this putt again. He misread the first one, hit it high, played too much break, and I'm not sure if he was aiming left edge, but this was a straight in putt. Takes it back nicely, comes down, but he played it left edge and it just did not move.
how many times this week a putt of Tiger Woods lipped out?
Well, these cups are cut beautifully, very sharp, and you don't get any help if you're hitting them a little firm.
Well, he's got another difficult par 4 ahead of him. 447 yards, and it is ranked the 2nd most difficult on the golf course today. Just 2 birdies.
It's playing even a little tougher right now, Dan, because the wind has picked up a little bit.
Well, looks like he got a little frustration out with that shot. He cranked that up the fairway at 12. VJ Singh just tapped in for his par at the 12th. So Singh is just 1 behind Mickelson and Stewart. They're the only players under par in this 99th United States Open Championship.
And that par putt he made is probably on the hardest 4 par I've ever played, the 16th hole at Hazeltine, and just great stuff. Of course, he birdied it the next round, which I think won him the championship.
Let's move to 13.
VJ Singh with an aggressive play here. Driver off this par 4, 383 yards. Up the hill, dog leg right. Left is better than right. But VJ has found the rough just like he did at the previous hole. He was able to save par at the 12th, and that is where we go now. And Tiger ready for his 2nd. Mark?
Got 184 yards, very accessible hole location for him. Wind has died. Needs to get one in there close.
But there's a steep fall off on the back of this green, so you don't want to get too aggressive.
Set it just right.
And that's down in the bunker on the short side.
Well, this will be disappointing, I think, Johnny, for Tiger, because he certainly got himself into position.
Back to 11.
And Phil Mickelson tied for the lead.
180 yards. This is 7 iron.
That's a big 7 iron. Is he going to play a big draw?
He's got 165 to the front. This ball's leaking a little left of the hole.
Pretty darn good, I'll tell you that. Pressure's on Payne now, Roger.
That was hit solidly there, John.
That was creamed. 185 yard 7 iron in the wet.
Payne Stewart now 176. One at the player's back, John. A little bit from the right, but at the player's back, so not playing its full distance.
Don't you think this is a crucial time for Payne Stewart after making 6 from a perfect position?
That'd be a great time to hit another good solid iron shot. A little bit right of the hole, give himself a birdie attempt. This ball just right of the flagstick.
It's going to get up. Nope. Painful. Missed the last 3 greens now, Roger, after striping it all day, except for number 2. So it's a time of sort of girding up your loins, so to speak, and saying, hey, am I going to let this thing go like I did last year?
Let's see his reaction, Johnny.
Yeah, man.
Being slapped in the face. At 13.
Second shot for Vijay Singh. Missed the fairway again, 118 yards up to the hole. Not a real difficult hole location. Second easiest 13 is played. That has to sit down, but it's not too bad back there. It's not a very big slope.
The whole golf course, Dan, that's the one green you can go over.
That's
and
right.
Not be in a bad spot.
Seen a lot of players save par from back there, and if Vijay's able to do that, he'll remain one back.
In 3 weeks, the U.S. Senior Open on NBC, Saturday and Sunday, the 10th and 11th of July. Jack Nicklaus will be returning to major action. U.S. Senior Open, July 10th on NBC.
Well, Mark, what does Tiger's bunker shot look like?
Well, it's one he has to get up and down, and in fact, it's definitely a holeable shot. Since he can't get any putts in, maybe he can hold this little bit of an uphill lie. Plenty of green.
Maybe.
Good
Flirted
call,
with
Mark.
it. Flirted with it. And he's only 3 shots back. I mean, he's got some holes left.
He could still win the championship, there's no doubt about that, but he really needs to make something electric happen.
Well, he's got a birdie hole coming up at 13.
It'll be interesting to see what he does on the tee. He's been hitting an iron, but he just might hit a driver here today.
So Woods with the sand save remains at +2. And back over to the 11th.
That was Trey Holland talking to Payne Stewart about something.
Well, Payne Stewart called him over. There's some sand that has come out of the bunker short of the green in the fringe, and he was asking Trey Holland if it would be okay to brush that sand from his line. And the answer is no, he cannot.
That's
Sand and loose soil or loose impediments only on the putting green. You cannot brush them off the putting green.
Of course, the greens here at Pinehurst 2 were sand up until 1935. Just rolled sand over clay. And then finally the development of grass that could survive in the heat, summer heat and humidity of the South.
Roger, how steep is this bank, and is it a problem or just basically the same thing they've been working on all week?
Well, they've been working on this all week, but this is very steep. This is a very steep angle he has to put up across. This will be slow, certainly, in the first part of this.
Ooh, shot left on him, Raj.
Coming back. That's not all bad, John. That is not all bad at all.
No, leaves himself a sort of a curler. Slice putt.
David Fay, any further clarification on the rule?
Well, you see on the graphic, Rule 23 deals with loose impediments, and the third item there, sand and loose soil impediments on the putting green only. So if the sand had been on the putting green, of course, you can brush it aside, but you can't brush sand aside when it's off the putting green.
Stewart kind of swiping the sand away now.
Yeah, that's not a good sign, really, that he's viewing it that way. He's got a job to do. And of course, this is a makeable putt, huh, Roger?
It sure is. This tracks well, John. Slightly downhill.
It was, what, 2 inches right?
Yes, in that area. Depends on what kind of speed he hits it on.
With the outright lead.
Look at this. Oh! Just ran out of speed. It was in, Roger, if he hit a little harder.
He hadn't hit anything that even remotely looked like a bad putt today, John.
No, it's just a clinic.
thought he had it.
Said, oh my gosh, I thought I made it just a little harder. Phil, you had it. And Payne's putt here, Raj, it moves, doesn't it?
Well, it might. It's in a kind of a funny spot coming off that brow, John. It's on a little bit of a slope.
Is it left edge?
Well, I think it might go a shade right. I don't know that I'd want to get it out of the hole. But if he likes to hit it inside the hole, I'd also say you better hit it firmly. Yeah, good stroke there.
So on to 12. They go. Mickelson and Stewart still tied for the lead at 1 under par. We advance to 13.
And this for a share of the lead. Vijay Singh from behind the green at 13. Move a little left at the start, flatten out to the right at the end. Good looking putt.
Man, he looks good, Dan.
Very calm. Johnny, that par save he made at the previous hole at 12 was huge.
I mean, how about the last 3 greens he missed? He had an average putt of 12 inches.
And he's missed his fair share of fairways today as well, Johnny, but keeping it together, just one back. As the leaders make their way over to the par 4 12. Neck and neck.
Well, it sets up nicely for both players, doesn't it, Roger? A fade for a right-hander and a little draw for a left-hander. The left bunker to carry is 245. And a nice little draw, and just a couple yards is all you want.
Well, it is, John, but the wind has freshened some right in the player's face here. It'll play much longer than the yardage.
It's 447. That's not exactly a pitch and putt hole.
That's had a lot to do, that wind, with making this the second most difficult today.
Right down the heart of the fairway.
And missing this fairway, Dan and Roger, probably is at least a half a stroke penalty, don't you think? Or maybe a full stroke penalty. You're not going to probably get there if you hit it in the rough.
I agree, and certainly with the moisture in this rough.
You saw how hard Vijay Singh had to swing out of the rough earlier, and you've got such a long distance coming into the green that makes it even more difficult.
This ball going right, hit it to the right rough. First fairway is missed.
So Mickelson in the fairway at the 12. Stewart has missed it. But it's Phil Mickelson and Payne Stewart who are tied for the lead through 11 at 1 under. Vijay Singh looking very steady, just one back.
You are watching the 99th U.S. Open on NBC.
Tiger Woods, 152 yards. Par 4 13th, the second shot. Needs to try to make something happen a little bit, and this is a green light hole here to try to pick up a birdie.
Oh, man, there he goes again.
Meanwhile, Stewart at 12. Second shot from a long way away, Roger.
Well, was forced to lay up, had 229 yards to the hole, and not a very good lie, so he's done the wise thing, just laid it down the fairway, leave himself a sand iron third.
Well, so many times during this championship, he has done what he calls take his medicine and punch out and leave the chances to try to get it up and down for par. But what is Mickelson's yardage from the fairway?
Has 201 yards to the hole. This is a 4-iron. Wind is laid down for the moment. This ball starts at the left side of the green, drawing in toward the center.
Good shot. Mickelson working on a bogey-free round in the final round of a pressure-packed Open Championship. Doesn't seem to feel it there at all. 14.
Second shot for Vijay Singh. He's only back by 1.
See that left hole location. Not asking for anything in particular. Safe shot, just where you're supposed to hit it, just right of the hole and underneath the hole. Nicely done.
He has been solid.
Well, Tiger Woods from behind the green at 13. Not a really bad spot, Mark.
No, and he's elected to chip the ball, Dan.
Do you know what he hit on the second shot? Was that a 9-iron that went that far?
I think it was, Johnny, and that was the 3rd time in this round from the dead center of the fairway. He's hit it way too far.
Good shot, huh?
That left for par. Tiger hanging in there. And back over to the 12th. This is the 3rd shot now for Payne Stewart, Roger.
88 yards left to the hole. Just the sand there, and just 4 paces right of this hole.
Going away from the pin. Safe play.
Well, if he's going to win it, Phil Mickelson, it's going to be with the putter right from the start, the first hole for par.
Just saved par, and really meant a lot, I think, right there. And then second hole, same thing, saving par. He's right of the green.
And a couple of short par putts at 5 and 6.
That's number 6. And then the tough 8th hole. He's underneath the hole with a little bit of a curling putt.
That was for his birdie. 1 from the lead, then at 9.
40 yards right of the green at 9. He gets it up and in.
And this one to take the lead. At 10.
Up and down, 6 out of 6. No bogeys.
But he's not playing the best golf of those fighting for this title. Vijay Singh is 2 under for his round. It has moved to even. And he and Mickelson, the 2 players without a single bogey today.
Over at 13, this is Tiger Woods trying to save his par. +2. 5 holes left for Tiger Woods to try and make up a 3-shot deficit to 14.
Vijay Singh for birdie. This would tie him for the lead. Taste of the Tiger Woods medicine.
At 12, long birdie putt for Mickelson, but not a lot to it, Raj.
Just back up the hill slightly.
That should be a safe 2-putt. Mickelson will remain at 1 under. He will mark, but it's Payne Stewart who has another one of these U.S. Open type distance putts, Roger.
Well, we've talked so much about how every player will have that period where they have to struggle, and Payne started that back at number 8. Things became a little more difficult for him. He's kind of struggled on each hole, and dropped a shot at 10 second consecutive day. He made 6 at the par 5, and this would be a big putt for Payne right here to see if we could settle him down and get him back to hitting the kind of shots he did at the start of the round.
Roger missed the last 4 greens in regulation, and he's paid the price now.
Phil Mickelson is a short putt away from sole possession of the lead.
And he's at that point, Roger, don't you think he's saying, oh my gosh, I'm leading the Open.
Stewart back to even.
And if you don't think that doesn't surge a little adrenaline into your system when you finally realize, hey, I'm leading the United States Open last day.
And there's only 6 holes left.
Safely in.
For the first time since the opening round, Phil Mickelson finds himself on top of the leaderboard. Started this championship with a 67. We go to 14. Tiger Woods +1.
436 yards. You want to hit at the left side of the fairway, hit that power fade. Must be good. Everybody's loving it.
Woods at +2 is 3 behind Mickelson. There's still some time, but he needs some heroic play.
Tiger's got every part of the game that you need except for those short irons. If he can get those good, I think he'll lap the field in the rest part of, the second part of his career. But right now it's still holding him back. Every time he gets those birdie opportunities, he's missing greens.
Well, this hole sets up very well for Phil Mickelson's draw. Little dog leg right back up the hill. In fact, he will take an iron here. 383-yard hole. He's been solid off the tee today. Nine of 10 in fairways hit.
This ball going down the left-hand side of the fairway. Needs to hang on.
Just in the first cut, which is a big difference today. You get outside of that in that deep rough, and it's a whole nother story. 15.
Vijay Singh has reached the tee at the par 3 today, measuring 195 yards. Players are hitting the green just some 26% of the time with his front left hole location.
Gary today teed the ball up. Yesterday played it off the ground and hit it fat.
Singh has struggled here at 15. He has made bogey on this hole the last 2 days.
Going left.
Well, that's not the end of the world. That's not a terribly severe slope over there, so an opportunity to get it up and down. Let's take a look at this green. False front, first 8 or 9 yards of the surface, putting surface, roll back down toward the fairway. Anything right falls off. Left falls off, but it is not too severe if you do miss the hole short and left. Seen some players get the ball up and down from there. Typical Donald Ross design. Tough target. We go to 13.
Payne Stewart with a 3-wood. His tee shot. See if he can make a good swing after missing the fairway at the previous hole. And that looks good. So Stewart continuing to battle. Just one back after having lost the lead to Mickelson at 12. Mickelson in search of his first major championship. Payne Stewart looking for his second Open title, and Vijay Singh trying to win a major title for the second straight year. Let's go to Tiger Woods at 14.
And he is in the dead center of the fairway. He's got 136 yards. Not much wind at all right now.
Another one of those shots you should be knocking it inside 15 feet, Mark.
Kind of ironic. He's made par on the 2 greens he's missed and bogeyed the one he hit in the last 3 holes. He's attacking this one.
Now he holds Tiger with par bogey here at 14 in the championship.
He's got it on line, but lacking distance control again.
So strong and so often
almost a curse, to be honest with you. His strength and speed are almost a curse when it comes to short irons.
Well, the curse for the New York Knicks are the twin towers of the San Antonio Spurs. 12 straight wins in the playoffs, seemingly unstoppable, but that Madison Square Garden tomorrow night at 9 o'clock will be roaring as the underdog Knicks try to take game 3 of the NBA Finals. You'll see it here on NBC, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 in the West. Back to the land of the longleaf pine.
Well, very accessible pin here at 13. Again, one of the easiest holes on the golf course as Mickelson sets up for his second. Roger.
Phil has 151 yards. Has a good lie in the intermediate cut of rough. Ball not sitting down at all, so that'll benefit here. I don't think he has to worry about the ball jumping.
Is there anybody that spins the ball more than he does, Roger?
He hits down on it pretty hard, John. He can get the ball to spin.
The location's right there. It's a birdie hole. A lot of splash and impact.
Just don't spin it short.
This is left of the hole.
That will stay.
Well, pretty safe shot, but Payne Stewart can make birdie here, Roger. Knocked it stiff for a gimme at number 2. Similar shot, wasn't it?
It was. This 133 yards to the hole. Back uphill. This a 9er.
Catch it solid or a little thin?
It might be just a shade thin this left of the hole. Not bad, John.
Oh, that's a good shot. Stewart coming right back after that. Bogey at 10, bogey at 12. That's the kind of medal he has. 15.
Vijay Singh has elected to take the putter as the slope is not too severe. Rolling the ball up the hill. Okay, beautifully judged, and Singh's short game continues to shine. Go back to 14.
And Tiger Woods at +2. 3 behind Phil Mickelson. A birdie chance.
And he needs to start taking advantage of him running out of holes. This putt is just inside 30 feet. It's going to break to Tiger's right.
Downhill?
Downhill a little bit. But you can't be cautious at this stage.
See, he's looking out in this area here.
There it is.
Yes. Look at that look. That's a new one.
He's within 2.
It slid right and then it just hung in there. It looked like it was going to miss right.
Now, how big was that short missed putt for bogey back at 11? He's back in the hunt, and he knows it.
Yeah, there's some determination. That was exciting.
There's the new leaderboard. 4 men within 2 shots.
That's quite the leaderboard.
And back over at 13, Mickelson circling this birdie attempt back up toward the hole. Again, having taken the lead for the very first time in this Open Championship at 12. Vijay Singh tapped in for his par at 15, so Singh remains just 1 back of Mickelson.
What do you think he's going? What's going on in his mind right here, Roger? You think he's maybe thinking, I'm going to give this a run the way I'm putting?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, the way he's putting, I would imagine he would be thinking, I can make anything.
Just
he really hasn't holed anything really away from the hole, John, but he's not missed anything in the area of the cup.
Well, he made the long one on 8, and that was it. Just a little break to his right.
Yes, it will move a little bit to his right. Yeah, that one really never run line there, John.
Well, not bad, though.
Good speed.
When you're leading the Open, that looks pretty good.
Mickelson will mark, have that to remain at 1 under, and this is going to be a huge putt for Stewart. But before we get to that, let's go to the tee at 16.
To the longest par 4 in U.S. Open history, 489 yards, and it is playing even longer today, back into the wind. Vijay Singh on the tee.
That's right up the left edge of the fairway, Gary. Depends how far it carries.
Well, it will just find the deep rough, but it appears to sit up, so perhaps a break for Singh. Players having difficulty even reaching this green in 2 today. We'll go back to 13.
Yeah, they don't get any bigger as far as opportunities go for Payne Stewart. This for a birdie and regain a share of the lead. Roger.
And a very makeable putt downhill will run smoothly. Should move a little bit from right to left.
And he's back on top.
Great stuff.
42-year-old Payne Stewart back into a share of the lead with Mickelson at 1 under. With his first birdie since the 3rd hole. Let's go over to the tee at 15.
Tiger Woods with a 5-iron.
And that roar just backed him right away from the shot, Gary.
Yesterday he hit a big high cut 5-iron. The whole location was on the right. Today it's on the left. And he misses left, but again, that is not the worst position. The slope there, not terribly severe. We have seen a number of players manage to get the ball up and down from left of this 15th green. We go back to the tee at 14.
Where Payne Stewart and Phil Mickelson have arrived, now sharing the lead at 1 under.
Well, the last tee shot he lost it to the right and with the driver, and he needs to, I think he aimed a little right on the 12th hole, and that's why he missed it right. Let's see how his alignment is here. He wants to aim down the left side, aim in this area right here, and hit it to here with a little fade. Looks pretty good.
This ball going right again.
And that's what happens. Some people have a propensity towards under pressure pushing it. Some guys do the opposite and pull it, and there's a pattern there, and we'll see if he can overcome that. .436-yard hole. What's the wind, Roger?
The wind is from the player's left.
And he wants to aim right at that bunker here and play the draw. Aim here, and he'll hook it off that.
This one piped right down the center, John. He's swinging better as the day goes on.
That ball goes straight or a little draw?
A little bit of a draw.
There it is, Mickelson and Stewart. 5 holes to play, tied for the lead. Mickelson watching Payne Stewart's putt to tie him. At 13, on they go.
Now this was moments ago. Tiger Woods ready to play at the 15th tee. He hears the roar of Payne Stewart making the putt, backs off, and perhaps breaking his momentum. Coming off the birdie at 14, he hits the poor shot left of the green at 15. And now some work left.
He really has ended up in a pretty good spot, though, Gary. He's got the fairway metal out again. He has been very effective with this club from this distance. Certainly a hole, if he can just make a 3 and head over to 16, he would be very happy.
While he waits, we go to the 16th. Second shot, Vijay Singh.
Taking a big chance here, Gary. Going with a wood. This could win or lose the tournament for him right here.
This could go left.
Oh, it didn't get off the ground. I was going left.
Well, he got very lucky. It carried the cross bunker some 80 yards short of the green. It is still in the rough. We go back to 15. Tiger Woods with the fairway metal. The hill, that's a little strong.
Not bad though, huh, Gary?
Well, not bad, but a good 5 or 6 feet by. Go back to 14.
And Payne Stewart, just off that fairway bunker, Roger.
He's got some problems. Has 164 yards to the hole. Has a side hill, uphill lie, John, and deep grass.
This one could go anywhere. Club could shut down, go way left. It could shoot out right.
Yeah, it's easy to pull it from here.
He's hit it very, very high, going at the right center of the green. Really, I don't think he'll be displeased at all with that.
Well, the upslope allowed him to get some airtime on that shot, I think, which was good. Yardage.
Phil Mickelson now 139 yards to the hole.
That's a birdie opportunity.
This is a green line special, John. You can go at this one. It's a 9-iron. And he's hit this shot. It's just right of the hole. Pretty good looking play.
Did he get it a little heavy, Roger?
I don't know, John. He spun it back. I don't know how fat he could have got it.
You know, not bad. He's putting. Just a little advantage over Payne.
Meanwhile, David Duval at the par 3 17th, 196 yards. He's +3 on the backside.
+7 for the championship, and I guarantee you that yesterday and today will not be fond memories for him.
First 36 holes, Duval played in 3 under. The last 34 holes in +10. No one expected that, least of all David himself. After the way he's played all year, dominating for the first 3-4 months the PGA Tour, and he certainly was the pick of many coming in here, wasn't he?
He did, but this golf course, you have to be right on top of your game, and you cannot force it. It's got to come to you by hitting good shots and smart shots.
You know, at the beginning of this century, Donald Ross, 1900, started working on this course, Pinehurst number 2, and here we are at the end of the century. Oh my, the design has endured.
And at the 15th, Tiger Woods with a crucial par putt.
Kind of interesting, Gary. Tiger has played 14 holes today, and he has not had a putt of this distance yet. They've either been longer or shorter. So this is the first one in the 5-foot range.
And we're going to have to move back to 14 for Payne Stewart.
His third shot.
Straightforward little pitch shot, Roger.
Well, it is. It'll come up over a slight brow on the green, John. Then it really starts to run away just slightly. I think this is a little faster going in this direction than it appears.
He's good at this.
I checked up real quickly on him in the middle on the second hop.
15.
Par putt for Tiger Woods. Very slight break from right to left. Be careful, don't power through the break. Okay, good stroke. And Tiger Woods with a nice up and down at 15 remains at 1 over par. The championship and just 2 behind. Going to the long par 4 16th, where his length should give him a huge advantage.
Well, he's going to need to play those last 3 holes at least 1 under par. I really believe that. He's got to get to even. Might not need to, though.
Now Phil Mickelson.
Best putt now from about 35 feet. Should move a little bit to his left. Not a lot.
For the lead. Another great roll. A tap in for his par. Still no bogeys on his card today. The 1 birdie back at 7.
I think he's going to clean it up and put the pressure on Payne. Not that he was going to miss it, but
It's been magic, that putter today.
At 16, Vijay Singh looking at his 3rd shot. The other man who has not made a bogey today, and if he's going to keep that going, he better hit a good one here. Wet rough, very thick, and that ball carries short and will not release. And Vijay Singh will have a good 20 feet plus. Trying to save par. We go back to 14.
And trying to save par here is Payne Stewart. retain a share of the lead.
And this one should move just a little bit to Payne's left.
They go to 15, tied for the lead at -1.
Two great putts by Payne the last two holes. That's got to help him.
Like a veteran football team coming down to the 2-minute warning, needing to sustain a drive and get it in the end zone before the final gun. It's Payne Stewart at 42, now to 16.
Tee shot for Tiger Woods.
Let's go, Tiger!
And to take advantage of his length here, he has to hit the fairway. And he does, right center, well positioned. Go back to the 15th tee. Payne Stewart with the honor, and he has played this hole like he's owned it. 2 birdies in the first 2 rounds and a par yesterday. Hole measuring 195 yards. Hole location front left, just past the false front. Anything short will come back. Roger, the club.
He's got a 4-iron, Gary. Wind coming from the right. Sure, he'll try to hit his cut, hold it against that wind, and put it up right of the hole into the center of the green if he can. This ball started at the left side of the green, and the wind will not let it come right. This is going to miss left.
Well, and that is short and left. That'll be a little bit more difficult up and down than what we saw from Tiger and or Vijay Singh. And we go ahead to Vijay Singh at 16, trying to remain 1 back at even par. But that will turn to his left. No, that's left all the way. So Vijay Singh with his first bogey of the day, drop back to 1 over. We go back to 15.
And Phil Mickelson has selected a 4-iron. This ball starts at the right side of the green, cutting back at the center.
And a nicely played shot by Mickelson, safely into the center of the green. So it's Phil Mickelson and Payne Stewart atop the leaderboard, both at 1 under par. As they approach the 15th green, Stewart off the green with some work left. Mickelson safely on the putting surface. Vijay Singh and Tiger Woods are now 2 back, and they're running out of holes. We'll be right back with final coverage of the 99th U.S. Open. Welcome back. We're at the par 3 15th, and Payne Stewart preparing to play his second shot. Roger?
Well, he's got a little bit of a problem with the sprinkler head ahead of him, about 15 feet just off the putting surface. He's going to try to play a bump and run into the hill, but he's got to play close to the sprinkler head. Hit that much too hard. Hit that a little harder than you want to.
And go to the 17th.
Vijay Singh.
Going with the big 7-iron back left hole location. He's given some body English. Where is it? Oh boy, it's tracking.
A chance for birdie. Vijay Singh, he's at +1-2 from the lead.
At the 16th, Tiger Woods' second shot from 210. Should be a 4-iron for Tiger. He made a good pass at that. Players have been hitting this green less than 5% of the time, but not Tiger Woods. Beautiful shot within 12 feet of the flag.
That's sweet, huh, Gare?
Oh, man, that's taking advantage of his length, Johnny, on the longest par 4 in U.S. Open history. We go back to 15. Phil Mickelson, lengthy putt for birdie, Roger.
His speed control has just been so good all day. When he's putting away from the hole, it just seems to leave it dead to the hole every time.
Amy. This is tracking, and just just a little too much speed, Johnny. Wow, what a great putt.
That was one of the great putts I've ever seen. Deserved to go in. And Payne knows he's dodged a pretty good caliber bullet there, huh?
Well, he has so far. He's got
some work over the zone, huh?
He sure does. Roger?
Well, this putt now from about 8-9 feet will move from his right to left. Not an easy little putt.
How they been doing on this, Gary?
Well, a tendency perhaps to overread the break slightly and hang the ball out on the right-hand side.
He's made 2 great putts in a row, last 2 holes.
Just like that. That has been the tendency. It just looks like it'll break a little more.
That was a good-looking stroke.
That was a very good putt. Another look. It just gets by the hole. It just refuses to turn. And he cannot believe it. So, Phil Mickelson with a short putt now and a chance to retake the lead.
This is no gimme.
Nope, not in this situation. Mickelson safely in with his par at 15. Takes a one-shot lead to the difficult par 4 16th. Stewart, bogey, drops back to even.
Doesn't get much better than this, does it, guys?
Well, it's exciting stuff. Up at 17.
Vijay Singh.
He's in a good spot here, John Schroeder. Not a lot of break.
No, it should go a little right, if anything, Johnny. He hasn't made any putts all day. He needs to make one now. Great effort.
He wishes it went right.
Over at 16, Tiger Woods eyeing this birdie putt and a chance to move within 1. Mark, have you had a chance to look at it?
I have, Gary, and it's definitely going left. I looked at it from both sides. It would appear to me like if he puts it about a cup on the right and lets it die, that would be a perfect line. He could hit it a little more just on the edge if he played it firm.
Gary, you've been watching this putt at all?
Well, I have, John. We've seen a few players putt from this area, and I think Mark's read is pretty much right on the money. Got to get the ball a little bit outside the right of the hole.
Amazing how quiet 40,000 people can be.
This for just the 3rd birdie of the day here at 16. Yes! Tiger Woods to even par, just 1 back. And Johnny, you said he needed to play the last 3 and 1 under. Well, there's one right there.
That is huge.
And that is the hardest of the 3 holes. Back at the tee, Phil Mickelson.
He was ready to pull the trigger on his tee shot, heard that roar and backed off.
And this drive is huge. It's so important. You got to get it in the fairway, Gary.
This is a good-looking tee shot down the left side of the fairway.
And that is now 11 of 13 fairways Mickelson has hit today. What a difference from yesterday when he really struggled with the tee shot.
He's coming alive, Gary and Roger. He's starting to strike it.
Well, he made some adjustments late yesterday afternoon after looking at some notes that he had gotten from Jackie Burke from one of the visits he had made down there. and said that he felt much better after that practice session.
You made that call earlier, Johnny, and I agree with you. He started to catch his stride about midway through the round. Now, Payne Stewart needs to get this ball in the fairway. This tee shot going down the left-hand side as well. That should be a good tee shot as well. It is.
Oh, it is.
Good long one.
Sneaks it just past Mickelson. We'll go over to the 17th tee.
Cheering Tiger Woods as he arrives at this par 3, 196 yards. He's going to try to call upon the experiences of the opening round when Tiger birdied 17, birdied 18 on his way to 68. And there again is a birdie putt at 16 to get him even. 1 under for his round. He's birdied 2 of the last 3.
Yeah, when you're calling on your resolve to birdie that hole, you're asking for a lot, and he did it. What a 3. It's darn near an eagle.
Right, that's a par 5 for the members, 16, and a long par 4 for the championship.
It's like a 4.5, so you can call whatever you want. And this hole location's good for him. He's hit some good shots on this hole. Hit a phenomenal shot in the first round, almost knocked it in for a hole-in-one, a high towering 6-iron fade to the back right.
Meanwhile, at the green, BJ sang, but just to reflect back that shot of Heron with Woods, and I think that's a good partnership for Tiger Woods. Heron really trying to help him along here, realizing the importance of the moment for his playing competitor. Now for par, Singh to stay in the hunt.
It's been real hard to play this hole with all the racket going on up at the 16th green.
bet.
The fans here at the 18th tee and the 17th green went nuts when Tiger made his putt. Steve Stricker had to back off.
This has just a little bit of movement, and the first putt didn't, but this one could go left center.
Hopes are still alive for Vijay Singh as he goes to 18. Currently 2 from the lead.
He's going to need to birdie, I think, 18. Let's have a few wheels fall off among the leaders. But this, he's been having trouble with his irons. That's his nemesis. And but I like the way he's hit a lot of his mid irons on occasion. So what's he going to go with? 196 yards downhill, back center hole location, and only about 8 feet past the hole it falls off.
I think it's a 6-iron, Johnny, and certainly not a time to get too aggressive. Looked very comfortable coming up to the tee.
Choking down an inch on the club. Three-quarter shot. He did not swing full on that one.
Pulled it a little bit left.
Oh, that's actually one of the easiest bunker shots on the golf course, and that is holeable, just like you called it on the other bunker he was in on, I think it was 14. It's not that hard a shot.
Back to 16.
Phil Mickelson discussing the situation with his caddy, Jim Mackay. And Mickelson has not played this hole well. He has bogeyed it in each of his last 2 rounds. Look at this, the 16th hole, this longest par 4 in Open history. Just 4.5% of the players have reached the green in regulation today. Roger, the yardage?
226 yards to the hole, Gary. Wind from the right, I think against slightly. 212 to that front edge.
Isn't this what Donald Ross wanted, guys?
He said the ultimate test was how you played your long irons. Well, this ball is short and right, and I don't know if it actually got up into the bunker or whether it caught up in the long Bermuda rough just short of it.
From my vantage, Gary, it looks as though it is caught up in the grass above the bunker.
And there it is, and it has nestled well down.
That looks like thick stuff there.
Yes, it does. So perhaps an opening for Payne Stewart. Roger, his yardage.
223. Played a wonderful 2-iron into this green yesterday. So with 2-iron again today. This shot low and left.
Well, it gets a
pretty
great
good hop.
bounce. Yes, it is about 8 or 10 yards short of the putting surface, but very
Came out
good
of it,
position. Yeah, he
That
sure
was
did.
mishit.
Got a very fortunate bounce off the edge of the bunker. We'll go up to 18.
And David Duval, this short putt for a par and a 75. Improbable. Back-to-back 75s in the third and fourth rounds. Only 2 birdies in the last 36 holes for Duval.
And here's a man that needs a birdie right here. 446 par 4. It's a long hitter. Needs it in the fairway. And he's not going to get it.
It's in the heavy rough. At 17 now. Woods from the bunker.
It's a good lie in the bunker. It's an uphill lie. The thing that he's going to have to do is read a little break here, Johnny, almost as if it were a putt, because the ball is going to turn to his left when it gets on the green.
See that sand cakey with the mist and rain of the day.
I don't want you people to believe he has to make this. I mean, it would be nice. It'd be a bonus. Obviously, first things first is to make 3, and if it wants to fall in, that's good too. But he's in a good position right now with both players, Stewart and Mickelson, in trouble on 16. He pars this hole, birdies the next one. Who knows what's going to happen? All above his feet, as you can see. It's easy to leave it short from here. He was going for it. You were right, Mark.
Just didn't play quite enough break was all. Not an easy putt left, though.
See him holding the club off the sand, which you have to do in the bunker, and hit about 3 inches behind it, just where you're supposed to.
Back at 16. Payne Stewart eyeing his shot, Roger.
Well, he's left the ball some 10, 12 yards short of this green. Has plenty of green to work with. He's going to try to pitch it into the uphill slope. Get the hill to kill the momentum of the ball, get it to spin. Payne is a wonderful player at these shots. One of the best I've ever seen. Day in and day out. Great hands player. Usually makes terrific contact and judges distance beautifully.
But he did scoop 2 of these on 2, and remember on 14 where he came up well short.
There's a better check.
Awfully firm.
What was that, Roger?
I think he got at that a little harder than he wanted to. I don't know if you want to call that the open pressure or whatever, but he hit that one much further in the air than I think he was trying to.
Mickelson will be next to play. Roger, you have a chance to look at the lie?
Well, the lie is down, Gary, but it's kind of a nest egg, and I think it's going to be very easy to judge how this ball comes out. I don't think it's as tough as it looks. And it's going to come out with very little spin and should just release nicely on a bit of an upslope.
The uphill lie makes it easier, doesn't it?
That's right. It makes it easier as well. He'll get some altitude on this.
This is where he earned his reputation.
Running there?
Yeah, I'm surprised at that.
Took a little dinky little swing, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I'm surprised at that. I would have thought he'd use that big swinging motion he usually uses.
Up to 18.
Second shot for Vijay Singh.
This is where strength pays off. Hole location way over here. Let's see if he can get at it. Look at the body English he's using. Look at this.
Just short.
Noble try, though, I'll tell you. Gave it all he had.
Back at 16. Payne Stewart with Roger, a very lengthy par putt now.
Well, it is. Certainly one he dearly needs to hole. Back down the slope. You know, I'm sure he's got to be thinking, although Phil Mickelson's putt is by no means in, he hasn't missed anything like that all day.
Is this a putt that looks like you're going to make it, Roger, or is it awkward looking?
Well, I think it's a little awkward looking, John, because he's on a bit of a fall off in the back right corner. It looks like it wants to influence the ball a little left at the start, and it's like one of those putts that's got a little bit of everything in it, you know? So I don't think this is a real easy putt to read.
It was a bogey on the 16th hole last year at Olympic that proved to be the margin that Payne Stewart lost by.
Gary, you know the read here?
Well, John, I think Roger's right. It appears like it wants to go a little left at the start, but then it will definitely try to creep back to the right at the end. Tough putt to read. Over to 17.
Tiger heard that roar. Mark?
Well, he had been watching very closely everything that was going on down at 16, so he didn't even get ready to putt before Payne did.
Left center putt, Mark?
I think it's left center, John. The green falls away to the back.
It's not a hard putt. It really isn't. Inside the hole, do it.
And yet another lip out.
Got it on the edge. Had to keep it inside the cup.
Hit it awfully firm, too, Johnny.
He sure did. Just wasn't a lot of break. When you hit this hard, it's dead straight. I mean, you watch this. This is just tracking as straight as you can, down and in and out.
Much like the one at 11.
Wow, that's a shame there.
Back to 16.
Biggest putt of his life.
Yeah, just to answer Stewart.
Payne Stewart stretched this putt out some.
No, it's not going to move that much.
He yanked it.
Mickelson records his third bogey of the week at 16. And he and Stewart are now tied. We go up to 18.
Vijay Singh, remember, just one from the leaders now. His third shot.
Got a 6-iron, got chip and run it. The thing that's killed him this last 4 or 5 holes is he has not put the ball in the fairway.
Yep.
Therefore, he hasn't been able to put it on the green.
This hole's on quite a steep upslope. A little hollow running through the middle. You can see that up, down in that hole. Now go back up to the hole there, very slow.
This man born in Fiji. His father was an airplane technician and taught golf, taught him as a child. He watches from New Zealand today. His son tries to win this treasure title. Only one birdie today, Colin Montgomery here at 18. That's how tough the finishing hole has played.
And if he doesn't win this, he's going to really think hard on that last little putt there. I can tell you that. Just a straight in putt, but a lot of pressure.
Just one behind.
You want to hit the ball right there if you can. Maybe a titch right of that.
Little cut would be perfect for him. The wind is coming from the right.
Needs it in the fairway.
It's headed down the right-hand side. Needs a friendly kick.
There's more room right than it looks like from the tee. He's just fine. He's 15 feet inside the fairway line. It elbows out right where he drives it, same as yesterday.
Huge grandstand area along 18, accommodating 6,000-7,000.
I wonder if he knows the situation. I don't know if he knows Mickelson made bogey there.
4 within 1, and here's Payne Stewart tied with Mickelson at even. Remember Payne's war cry coming here to Pinehurst 2. I just want a chance to win it again. Here it is.
Well, Roger,
Well, Payne selected a 6-iron, John. Wind coming from the left.
How about that putt on the last
Oh,
hole?
how clutch was that?
Wow. Well, he's got to just keep gearing up. Hole location's way back, right there. Back, left center of the green.
He starts, shot starts just left of the hole, cutting just right of the hole. What a shot.
Payne Stewart. And Phil Mickelson says, nice shot. Now he's got to gear up. He just had the championship, of course, with a shot lead. Let that squander by the big putt by Payne, and he wants to know if it's enough. Is it raucous out there, Roger?
It's getting a little wild out here now, John. People are getting very excited.
What club?
This is a 6-iron as well.
He said, is it enough? I'm just curious if he's at the 6.
Excuse me, John, this is a 7. He's going to have to get all of it to get it back there.
He's jacked up. See if he can answer Payne's great shot.
Boy, this is going right in the same line as Payne's.
Oh, what a shot! You're kidding me. Woo! Payne said, gee, I thought I had that young guy.
What a climax as Stewart and Mickelson make their way to 17. Each trying to outdo the other, tied even with Woods and Singh at +1. Meanwhile, at 18, here's Singh for his par putt to stay at +1 just moments ago.
This breaks left and it's slow.
So if the leader should stumble coming home, Singh is sitting there at +1 with a solid 69 today. That matches Dudley Hart, the only other subpar round of the entire day.
Well, congratulations, DJ. That's a great plan.
Listen to this applause for Mickelson and Stewart.
Two of the finest iron shots under heavy pressure you'll ever see. From 196 yards. And Phil saying, that was fun. And Tiger Woods knows there's been some serious good stuff happening on 17. Roger, can you hear me? I don't think you can. It's too loud down there.
Well, they've come from all around the country to watch this 99th U.S. Open Championship. They were ready to roar great shots, and they've not been disappointed. Now, Woods trying to gather himself after the noise. Here's his second shot.
Really pretty hard to gather yourself right now, Dick. The feeling out here is just unbelievable. Tiger's got 142 yards. About a 5-mile-an-hour wind right at his back.
Wedge?
Perfect little wedge for him.
Hole location's right there.
Not his best, but he'll have a chance.
They'll be putting for birdie and to go even in the championship. Put some pressure on the men that follow. And here they are on the green after those two spectacular tee shots.
What a reception these two players got coming up to this green. This crowd is electric right now.
How'd they figure who was away? Wasn't it pretty close?
Well, no, Phil is away. I think Phil's putt's probably in the 5 to 6 foot range. Payne Stewart's about 4 feet.
Might be an advantage for Phil. First guy in, huh?
Well, that's been the old golfing adage. Neither one of these putts does a lot.
No, it's very straight.
And meanwhile, Tiger Woods doffs his cap as a standing ovation at 18 for him.
Raj, if they both hit it right in the center of the hole, they both make two.
Normally you would expect these players to hold these putts, except it is the 71st hole of the Open.
Phil pulled it on the last hole. Pulled it again. Just flat pulled it. He has a tendency to hood it going back, and both of those putts were pulled 2 inches. And Payne Stewart, you're in the driver's seat right now.
Disappointing par.
Stewart a chance now to take a 1-shot lead over Mickelson and 2 shots over Vijay Singh and Tiger Woods.
Roger, isn't it amazing what pressure will do to people? Just great stuff off the tee, though. Got to hand it to him. But this putt, not much there. Tiger Woods had a similar putt.
It's all about steadying the nerves, taking a deep breath, trying to get your pulse rate down a little bit. Not easy to stay steady when all that's going on.
Tiger's got to dodge a serious bullet, and so does Phil right now. Straight in, Payne.
One hole to play. Stewart leads by 1. 42 years of age does not sound old, but in the last 75 years, only 2 men younger, 2 men older than that, have won the United States Open. Only 2.
Well, Tiger, I know knows one of them made birdie, but Payne has still got to hit a good tee shot and a good approach, and his driver has been a little wayward to the right several times in the last couple hours, and Tiger needs to make this, though.
He got a little bit of a break, Johnny, and the Tim Herron hit a chip shot on pretty much the same line right before him, so he was able to see what Tim's ball did.
Stewart's making double checking those grips to make sure they're perfect. Perfectly dry. So he's got to collect himself. Remember that tee shot he blistered on the 16th hole to give himself a chance to hit that iron that he didn't pull off, but made the good par putt. Loosen up the muscles and say, hey, I could do this. Once I hit it right there with a little fade into this spot there.
This ball going down the right side. Should be pretty good.
No, it isn't. It missed by 6 inches, Raj, in the heavy stuff, and it went down. That is in trouble right there. With this wet rough, I don't think he can hit the green unless he's a little better lie than I think.
That's the first player I've seen, John, that hasn't carried that bunker.
It's in that long rough, Raj, past the bunker.
Meanwhile, up on the green at 18, Woods. Chimes from the village chapel.
And they're playing Angels We Have Heard on High.
Well, he's going to need it right here, because that cup is up high. Breaks to the right. That putt was so pure, it defies description. Oh,
agonizing.
That a great putt. Probably missed by an 1/8 of an inch.
A 70 for Woods. He challenged, and he's not out of it yet.
He's not out of it yet, but so many putts by Tiger Woods. Watch this, breaking right hard, dying, coming down in there. Well, it wasn't as close as I thought, but that was a heck of a putt. Couldn't see it too well, as you know, from our camera angle. But that was a super putt.
So he remains one from the lead.
He's not
at that. Two from the lead.
Needs to hit that fairway.
This was, well, Woods was putting. Mickelson.
Perfect. Perfect. He's got a chance to catch Payne. Payne's got the tough lie.
And Woods now only a spectator. And his playing competitor, Tim Herron.
Just outside right edge and slow.
That's for par. And another lip out, and that'll be for 75. His father Carson is here cheering him on today. Played in the 63 Open. Disappointing final round for Herron, but a great championship nevertheless. Currently tied for 5th. Bad is that lie, Roger?
It is no good at all. It has settled very deeply. That's about as bad a lie as I've seen all week. I don't think he has any opportunity at all to do any more than try to advance the ball with an 8 or a 9 iron up the fairway and then just see if he can get it up and down.
Yeah, because there's a bunker that sticks out there, Roger, as you know, and you cannot try to challenge that. It's too hard of a shot, short of the green by maybe 25 yards, 30 yards, and so he's going to lay it back just past the crosswalk, I would think. But how much did it miss getting into the intermediate cut by?
A matter of 3 or 4 inches.
That's what I thought.
Well, almost every ball I've seen driven on that line this week, Johnny, has been good. It's been in the right side of the fairway.
I mean, if he happens to make bogey here and Phil Mickelson make birdie, you'll look at this little break right here saying this was not good.
The mist starting to come down more heavily now.
And look, it's more and more like a possible playoff with that tee shot. He's going to have to make a miraculous 4 here. Once the crosswalk is, of course, right, he wants to just hit it just past the crosswalk right there in that area. That crosswalk just in front of the bunker. Laid up just on the side slope there, the ball below his feet. Sort of a delicate little yardage. People up at the green had no idea that he couldn't go for it. They couldn't imagine him just hitting it right there. But Roger, what has he got here?
178 yards, Johnny. Wind helping.
So a 7-iron farm or something, or 8?
This is a big 7-iron.
He said, oh no.
This ball going right to the hole, John.
Has the birdie chance.
See if it'll stay. It's going to go down into that low there. It won't go in a bad spot, but it should stop.
And as the mist falls even heavier, the final 2 competitors walk to 18.
Well, it looks like pretty much a par by Mickelson, and it's going to have to be a heroic up and in for Payne Stewart, otherwise there will be a playoff.
Tiger Woods was a very interested spectator watching Mickelson's shot. And that pretty much dooms his chances. But his best ever U.S. Open for Woods. Mickelson and Stewart. Hard to tell the gallery favorite. They've just cheered so heartily for both these men for 4 days.
telling you, you want to see a tough lob wedge, sand wedge shot under pressure. Ball a little bit below your feet to a green that's so tough. Of course, Phil Mickelson here acknowledging the gallery. The way he's putting, who knows? Maybe he can make this putt.
The only person ever to birdie the 72nd hole and win this U.S. Open Championship, 1926, Bobby Jones. Mickelson may have his chance.
You saw Payne Stewart's caddy Mike Hicks not trust his own yardage and actually went up all the way to the hole location and pace it back to that ball, Roger. And he's just getting there now.
Well, by the yardage, according to the sprinkler heads on the golf course, John, I've got 77 yards to the hole.
And Payne has walked, of course, all the way up to check out this wild hole location, just sitting right on top of a hill with quite a severe back-to-front slope.
Sixth toughest hole today, and again, only one birdie made here the entire fourth round.
This is the hardest hole location. That's why they, even though it's downwind, why it hasn't been exploited more. Roger, what kind of shot is it? One of those nervous shots?
Well,
yardage-wise?
very nervous.
Yardage-wise,
well,
I mean, or not bad?
Not bad. He's going to use his lob wedge, John, and he's going to try to land this ball probably some 15 feet short of the hole, maybe a little bit more, and let it take a hop and then skip and spin. This is the kind of shot that Payne's very good at. If it wasn't the 72nd hole of the Open, you know, you would expect him to get it very near the hole almost every time.
Cannot go long.
To win it. In his 16th U.S. Open, the 91 champion gives himself the opportunity to win again.
Well, he's opened the door also by being there in 3.
Let's see if Phil Mickelson can jam his way in.
Roger? They're all square in all intents purposes.
That's true, John. This now a test of will and a test of putters, isn't it?
Yep.
Thank you, Bob.
In his 9th U.S. Open, looking for his first major title.
Keep going.
Both putting for a fine, unbelievable total of 279. Which is just about what you're supposed to expect in a United States Open. This putt, Roger, very slow, hard to get it to the hole. Moves to the left. How much do you think?
Well, I think once it gets across that slope, it's going to move pretty good. I want to see a little better than a foot or in that area.
Gotta get it right on in here, Phil.
Too much.
280.
Now Stewart, one putt to win. Mickelson will finish his round. 16 pars today for Phil Mickelson. One birdie at 7, the bogey at 16. Just confirming how important par is. U.S. Open.
Roger, you can think about number 16, the phenomenal putt he held there, hold there, and what's he got here break-wise? Not too far from that fall line, is it?
No, there's not too much movement at all. I think it will move a little left, John, but it's almost improbable to think you could hold 2 putts like this for par in the last 3 holes, isn't it?
It is, and these uphill putts, you have to hit them so square and so perfect. There's no help. So the odds are quite good that there will be a playoff. And that'll happen tomorrow. But he's been here before. He's won this championship. He can do it.
Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh, my.
What a clutch putt.
Shot a year ago at Olympic where he stood behind Lee Jansen and applauded politely, so close to winning a year ago, and then performing the sportsmanlike gesture as he now hugs his wife Tracy. They met in Australia. Happy Father's Day, Payne.
That's one of the greatest putts I've ever seen.
And one of the great U.S. Open championships.
Just absolutely super.
He becomes the 6th oldest U.S. Open champion at 42. Hiller when the oldest was 45. Drama certainly worthy of Pinehurst number 2's legacy. Here it is again.
He's like putting up a cliff here. The hole is at least a foot above his ball. Just drives it up there straight in, straight in. And you talk about pumped.
He told us as a kid he used to pretend a putt like that was for the U.S. Open.
And his caddy, Mike Hicks, pumped as well, of course. He's going.
Phil Mickelson watching the replays. Boy, he made the fight. He made this a very special championship by his outstanding play.
I think he just figured I'm in a playoff. I mean, there's no way this guy can make this putt. You just don't make putts like that for that with that much pressure.
William Payne Stewart, U.S. Open champion for the 2nd time. Wished his playing competitor, well, nothing like being a father, he's saying to Phil Mickelson, and Mickelson has that.
He says, good luck with the baby. You're going to be a father.
He has 2 children, does Payne Stewart. We'll be back to get his reaction and more from this 99th U.S. Open Championship. What a way to end a century of golf. Our thoughts and the presentation, Payne Stewart, the winner today. Still appears, Johnny, to be right on that emotional
Ladies and
edge.
gentlemen, will you please join me in welcoming the 1999 United States Open champion, Payne Stewart.
You want me to talk? I was just going to say, how do you begin, Payne, to put this championship, the moment you just realized a few moments ago, into perspective, not only winning the Open for the second time, but in the storybook fashion you just pulled off?
Well, I have to, first of all, I have to give thanks to the Lord. If it wasn't for his, the faith that I have in him, I wouldn't have been able to have the faith I've had in myself on the golf course today. So, thank you, Lord.
Payne, and the resiliency you showed today on the golf course, making all the big putts when you needed them, and of course the one at 18, but with what happened last year and the experience that, well, the scars were still there, we know. You've talked a lot about it this week. Everybody's asked you about it, but to win it coming off of that year.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know what to say right this second. Woo!
You said that experience made you tougher, and there were numerous times on the golf course today where you had to dig deep.
Well, I could never give up out there. Phil played unbelievable. He really did, and you'll win yours. You'll win yours, and I know Amy's at home, and I'd like to express to Phil and Amy that being parents is a special thing, and I'm glad that he's made the commitment. Whether he got the beeper today or not, he was going to be there with his wife, and that's very special. And I was with my wife for both of my children, and there's nothing like being parents. And I think that Phil's gonna have his opportunities again. Mine might be on a short list.
To win a national championship and to win it for the second time, but you've talked about it also this week, about dreaming to have the putt to win a U.S. Open. What was going through your mind when you knew you had to make it?
Well, I read the putt, and I said, even though it looks like it wants to go left, it's inside right. And inside left. Where did I play it? And I putted. I stroked the ball well all day long. I hit a lot of great putts, and I just said, give yourself a chance and I went through the same routine I went through on every putt, and then it went in.
Well, I'm going to let you gather yourself for just a second here, Payne. I do want to bring in Phil Mickelson for just a moment, Phil. Phil, a lot of people thought it would be your destiny this week. You arrived in town late Tuesday night. Your wife, Amy, expecting on June 30th, asked all week long about it. A lot of people thought this would be your first year to break through at a major championship. You dug deep out there today as well. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was an exciting tournament for me, and I had a great time today. I know that the outcome wasn't what I had hoped for, but I thought that the putts that Payne made on 16 and 18 showed what a great champion he is, and I think he represents the United States exceptionally well as our champion.
Before you leave, Phil, you've spent quite a bit of time apart from Amy. I'm sure you probably have a message to relay to her back in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Well, I just spoke with you, and I'm going to get home tonight, and in a couple of days, hopefully, we'll have our first child.
Congratulations, Phil. Well, back up to Dick Enberg.
Now, what is it about sport that makes grown men feel like kids again?
That was absolutely fabulous. You'd think Payne Stewart hitting 7 greens in regulation today on some of the toughest slopes you've ever seen, and shooting level par, 24 putts today. There's never been a player that's made 3 putts of that length the last 3 holes to win by 1 in a major championship that I can remember. 16, it was over 20 feet. 17, the magnificent iron shot and a 5-footer there, and then that straight uphill putt at 18, which had to be hit perfectly to be made You don't expect that out of anybody, especially a guy that's 42.
Payne Stewart is the champion here at Pinehurst number 2. The executive producer of NBC Sports and the producer of today's telecast, Tommy Roy. Today's telecast was co-produced by Tom Randolph, directed by Bucky Guntz. As we conclude our coverage of the 99th U.S. Open, we remind you that NBC Sports extends its golf coverage to the internet. Log on to golf.com this week. News, statistics, analysis on this U.S. Open. Check out real-time scoring, full audio, video tours of the course, live audio coverage of players' press conferences, and the #1 rated audio show on the net. It's all at golf.com. By the way, we tried to get Tiger Woods to join us, but you can imagine his disappointment. He declined. And be sure to join NBC Sports on Saturday, July 10th. Our coverage of golf's national championships will continue. The 20th U.S. Senior Open from the Des Moines Golf and Country Club in West Des Moines, Iowa. Again, third round coverage begins Saturday, July 10th on NBC Sports. And coming up next on NBC, it's the world's most amazing videos, followed by Geraldo Rivera special and the movie suspense thriller The Client, all coming up next on NBC. And a reminder that tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, the NBA Finals continue. It's Game 3. The Spurs, with a 2-game advantage, travel to Madison Square Garden, meet the Knicks. Again, the NBA Finals tomorrow night on NBC Sports. For Johnny Miller, Gary Koch, Dan Hicks, Roger Maltby, Mark Rolfing, and John Schroeder, this is Dick Enberg. Goodbye from the 1990 U.S. Open in Pinehurst, North Carolina. With a brilliant, heroic putt on 18, Payne Stewart is twice U.S. Open champion.